a group of over 60 police chiefs and sheriffs are standing up to President Trump's immigration policy. They say that in response to the president's threat to withhold federal money from sanctuary cities, the Law Enforcement Immigration Task Force issues this letter. And they're saying, in part, we believe that we can best serve our communities by leaving the enforcement of immigration laws to the federal government. Threatening the removal of valuable grant funding from jurisdictions that choose not to spend limited resources enforcing federal immigration law is extremely problematic. Joining us right now is the author of Cop Under Fire, Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark, joining us right here in the studio. Sheriff Clark, it's good to see you.
Thanks. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much for joining us. We really want to get your take on this. That statement was incredible. What's your take on these? Well,
it's a little disappointing. It's a lot disappointing. Sanctuary cities provide a safe haven for criminal aliens involved in some very heinous crimes against members of the community. Look, you can't have it both ways. If they don't want to participate, first of all, it's part of the law enforcement officer code of ethics to cooperate with other law enforcement agencies in the pursuit of justice, and that's what this is. So they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth. But the other thing about it is this as well. Most of these agencies, I saw many of the cities, they have law enforcement officers who are deputized as U.S. Marshals serving on U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force, the FBI Violent Crime Task Force, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Investigations. I have them assigned as well. So you can, on one hand, say, we'll enforce that federal law, but we don't think we should be enforcing this federal law. Right. But many of these chiefs, this is in relation to their mayors. Many of these are liberal Democrats.
Yeah, I mean, Dagan, our guest yesterday, has a thing or two to say about this when we were in Washington and spoke to Jamil Shaw. His son was murdered, and his son was 17 years old, stolen of his life by an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, and I think that these mayors and any individual who does not abide by the laws of this country has to speak to the parents of those who have lost children or anyone who has lost a relative. Sheriff, to that point, though, how many police officers go rogue, if you will, if they know that an illegal immigrant is getting out of jail and is being released? Couldn't they just call Immigrations and Customs Enforcement and just let them know, hey, this guy's going to be walking out of our jail any moment now?
Well, here's how this works, because we work with Immigration and Customs Enforcement on this. Previously it was Secure Communities, but now it's a 287G. ICE already knows who they're looking for. So there's a trigger when they find out somebody's in custody. They come into our jail every day and look at the booking sheets.
Every day? Every day.
And so that's where they get the data from, and they decide, hey, we want to look at this individual. Here's a detainer, which is an lawful order. And it says that we can and should hold them up to 48 hours while they do an investigation. If it goes beyond that, they got to get another detainer. That's all they're asking us to do. They're not asking us to question the guy, determine his immigration status. They take all we're doing is cooperating. I think that's a very low threshold to be asked of us, and that's why I participate in it. I have an obligation to protect the law-abiding people of my community. We've had criminal illegal aliens in Milwaukee County that have been involved in some very serious crimes, including drunk driving that has led to deaths, things like that. Some of the other crimes that, see, a lot of crimes go unreported and underreported by illegal aliens who are in the country, and they're victimized by criminal illegals, but they won't report that crime for fear of being discovered themselves. So we're seeing underreporting of domestic abuse, child abuse, sexual assault, things like that, because if you're in the country illegally, you say, I can't call the police because they might discover me. That allows the criminal illegal alien to continue to victimize these folks over and over and over again. That's why I said this is a disservice to the people of your community, and I can't see how law enforcement officials can say that it's not.
Sheriff, we're talking about violent felons, correct? This is what we're talking about. And also, I want you to address that, because I think there's a fear that people have that this is about going and rounding up, people who are here illegal but who have not committed violent crimes.
Yes, they're conflating legal versus illegal.
Correct.
But they're doing that on purpose. To confuse the issue. Look, I don't think it's too much to ask, if you're in somebody's country illegally, to obey all the laws, not just a classification. They keep upping the ante and say, well, just the serious ones and the really serious ones. No, all of them. Look, I've been to foreign countries. I can't go into those foreign countries and commit a violation of law and think they're just going to go, well, it's just a little thing, go on your way and be happy. It just doesn't work like that. You cannot allow people to cross your borders, come into your country illegally, and set up residence, and that's what this is doing.
Do you mind if I ask one more question to you?
Real quick.
The GOP is salivating over Tammy Baldwin's seat. Your name has come up a lot for that Senate seat. Do you have any plans?
Senate?
I'll give them a handkerchief to take care of saliva if that's what they need. Look, that's a big decision. I haven't made that decision. I never say never, but at the same time, that's not real high on the priority list. That's why it's a draft movement. They're going to have to bring me in there kicking and screaming.
Sheriff, it's great to have you on the program today.
Thank you,
so
Maria.
much.
My
we
pleasure.
Appreciate it. We'll be watching that. David Clark, we'll be right back.